Welcome back to part 3, and this time we're going to be looking at post-production with the green screen and how to edit it into your sequence. If for this example we're going to be using Premiere Pro, but across different editing software the names of tools and the process will remain similar. So first up we're going to import our footage, which I've downloaded from a stock website today, and drag that onto our timeline. And this one is our back-in, so this one's going to be the background that the subject will be pasted on top of. And over here we've got the subject, which we're going to be putting into the background that I've just shown you. Sometimes when you import stock footage it's not cropped correctly, so you can just correct that by double-clicking and stretching it out. And then move it onto layer 2 of the timeline. So then the bottom layer 1 of the woman on the stage, that's going to be prominent on the clip when we take the green out. Once we've done that, we open the Effects tab found at the top of the screen there and search in this bar for Ultra key. And we drag that over onto the top layer, which is of the businesswoman. And then over here we've got the key color setting. We want to open up the color selection tool and we click on the background to remove the green, and that'll work across, whether it's blue or white, but in this case it's obviously the green, and we're turning that transparent. Now to fit this businesswoman into the scene we need to rescale her, because otherwise it's just going to be taking up the entire space. So the woman on the stage is walking out, so we want to make sure that the businesswoman is scaled to fit with that scene. So we do that again by double clicking and just correcting it until we think it's suitable. Sometimes that can be helped by zooming in, which you can find in the corner there. But once we've done that, as we can see, there's a bit of an outline around the businesswoman. You can see that white kind of shade on her calf there. And you can also see it around her arm and face. So that'll happen quite a lot when you green screen in, as will quite a lot of other imperfections, but that's okay. We can go over here into the Effect Controls tab and go into Matte Generation. Pedal stool at the bottom there is usually the most useful I've found. Sometimes highlight can make a big difference too. This is predominantly useful when you're using stock footage, because obviously the two scenes that you're trying to edit together will not film the same. Next up we want to open Matte Cleanup. The most useful tool I found here is Choke, which just crops out the outside, as we can see here. I'll scale it all the way up just so you can see what it does. So we're just going to reset that and then gently nudge it up so that she doesn't lose half of her face, but that she loses that white outline around her. But as you can see around the hair, there's a bit of a hard edge there, but we can correct that as well. So we go into Soften, and again just gently nudge that up so as to not ruin the footage by trying to correct it. But if you do make any mistakes, as we saw earlier, there is a refresh button just on the side there. So here we're going to desaturate the green screen footage because that was lit in an environment that is not this environment from the background. So we're going to take out that colour from there, but we can put that back in over here so as to match it up with the background footage. So it's taking away the lighting that came with it and replacing it with lighting that we want. So as we can see, it's put a bit more colour in her cheeks there, which fits well because this woman on the side here is lit very strongly. And there's a lot of hues of yellow and kind of pink. So over here we can correct that by upping the temperature more towards orange. Match that harsh lighting on the presenter's face. And then we can go into highlights and do the same thing, so as to try and replicate the light that's bouncing off the presenter's head there. If we were to watch that back, it's now more believable that that scene is one piece of footage. Except that she's presenting just before the actual presenter walks out onto the stage. But we can correct that in the timeline here by syncing that up, by moving it to where she walks out and then removing the footage that we don't need. So now the businesswoman is presenting a speaker right as the speaker walks out. And then if we just take out all that other footage that we don't need, then we've got quite a nice, short, coherent clip of a woman presenting a speaker onto the stage to deliver a presentation. So as I said, as we're using stock footage, the lighting doesn't quite match up, but this won't be a problem when you're filming the footage for yourself. So over here we can save and export when we're ready, and that's how you edit a green screen in post-production. Green screens are helpful and can advance your skills professionally and creatively.